All right, well, welcome back to Dicebound, guys. This is our second module that we're jumping on into with me doing a Can It Savage Worlds. And today, we're going to be doing some Call of Cthulhu. Yeah, coming from the Blood Brothers book. We're going to have a nice little adventure here with you two, and without talking any further about it, let's dive right on in. You two are mob enforcers who work for the Dutch Schultz bootlegging and numbers operations in New York City in the 1920s. The prohibition is still going, but you guys control this city. You have access to police records, you have street informants. Your mob, as I said, runs New York City. The Dutchman has judges, senators, and some even say the mayor and the governor in his pockets. The city is essentially a place where, as long as you are doing your crimes for the Dutch Schultz, you can get away with it. A new organization has begun to push into the territory of the New York crime syndicate that you are part of. Word on the street says they come from Eastern Europe, somewhere near the Black Sea. Already, the Schultz mob has caught the foreigners bootlegging alcohol over the Canadian border to distribute it in New York City. In defense of the Schultz's mob territory, the Booker brothers assassinated two of these newcomer mobsters while they were trying to convince a local merchant to convert to their distribution. So, in retaliation, somebody gruesomely butchered the Booker brothers last night outside O'Flanahan's, a popular Brooklyn restaurant. This morning, Dutch Schultz himself has asked to see you two personally at Floyd's Barbershop in Brooklyn. Now, you likely wake up in that morning with a lot of anticipation for what will happen. It's unlikely that either of you two, despite being in mid-level of this organization, it's unlikely that you two have ever really interacted with the head of this mob directly. You've likely received orders from others who are more closely associated. So this is a big occasion. You do whatever your morning routine is, with hygiene and with feeding yourself, and you prepare to go to see the Dutchman at Floyd's Barbershop. Is there anything either of you would like to do out of the ordinary in your routine, or do before you go to Floyd's Barbershop?
I think Brian is just going to wake up, have his morning breakfast, a little scramble, and then he's probably going to check his tool belt, make sure he's got all of his bits and bobs, and put his revolver in his back of his waistband, toss on his overcoat, and head on out.
Are you dressing in your secondary outfit or in your mob suit?
I'm going to dress in my suit for meeting the top brass.
All right. And how about you, Harold?
Harold's also dressed up. Definitely formal attire. Probably nothing out of the ordinary this morning. Piece on his waist, overcoat, kind of concealing that. Probably walk out down onto the street corner, probably pick up a newspaper, tip the paper boy, probably working a cart stand there in the corner, probably a local regular at this cart stand. Make some quick small talk, grab a coffee off one of the cart stands on the route, and just kind of make my way down there. I'm hoping it's within walking distance. I'll stop off at a couple of my regulars, like the coffee stand and the newspaper stand. Maybe say hello to some of the locals that I know as I walk. Probably looking down at my shoes, realizing there's still some blood caked on from one of my last jobs, and I'll quickly bend down and kind of wet it and rub it off, and then continue on my stroll to the barbershop.
Yeah, you are certainly able to do that, and it is within walking distance for both of you, so you're walking over there rather than needing to hail a cab or anything. The locals on your route, Harold, certainly like you, but they also respect your association. So there's no charge for your coffee or for your newspaper. They are happy to give to you to keep their neighborhood safe and protected, and have nobody meet an unfortunate end. So you both make your way down to Floyd's barbershop about the correct time that you were intending to get there, and you see each other. You recognize each other, though I'm not sure if you two know each other at all. You're both meet at the door. Do you want to wordlessly go in, or do you want to do anything?
And if they're calling you in, somebody right fucked up.
Kind of flip my newspaper down, take a sip of my coffee, kind of fedora holding down over my eyes, and I'll look through and I'll be like, Brian O'Reilly, right?
Aye, that's me.
Good to see you, lad. How have you been?
Been keeping up with the repair shop. Always busy business down there.
They're bringing you into this, huh?
Well, somebody needs fixing.
Things are about to get ugly.
Well, don't want to keep the boss waiting.
Aye, boy.
He's going to hold the door open for him.
Aw.
Strolling like a badass. Apparently I'm hardcore like that.
All right, let's jump over to Floyd's barbershop.
Did you just aw when he held the door open?
Yeah.
No, we're hardcore criminals. Don't aw.
It's an old-style barbershop like this. It's rather small. It's nothing impressive. There's only a number of chairs, and the barber is attending to the boss man. He's sitting in his chair. You can see a cigar sticking out from a pile of hot towels on his face. That's all you can see of him, essentially. But I'm going to pop him on so you have an idea of what he would look like. Behind him and in front of him are a total of 2 bodyguards. The one behind him is sitting in one of the chairs and reading a newspaper. Is an older fellow that likely has a weapon on him. I'm going to pop him on right there to the left. And the other is up close and is the one who would stop you if you were somebody who was unauthorized to be here. He's a younger fellow with a mustache like this. He looks at you initially like, what are you doing here? But he recognizes you immediately, and he grunts over at the boss. Just a simple grunt like that. Do you want to say anything?
Top of the morning to you, boss.
I'll put my newspaper under my arm and I should have gotten him a coffee. Damn. Take a sip of my coffee and be like, morning all.
I'm going to retract the boss. I would probably say Mr. Schultz.
Yeah, that makes sense. After a moment, you almost feel like he didn't hear you, but he takes the cigar off. Barber quickly approaches, takes the towels off of his face, and he turns to you and says, "It is a very unfortunate morning we have to be here today. And I've got a special job for you boys. As you've probably heard, the Booker brothers were killed at the O'Flanahan's restaurant last night. You have heard?
Aye, right, shame. I was
Right.
thinking about going to O'Flanahan's. Good establishment we got there.
It is a right shame, and they are very much in our favor. We like their restaurant. They take care of us. We take care of them. Now, whoever killed the Booker brothers, I want you to locate those people and make them pay for their insult. It isn't right that businessmen should treat each other this way. You will find them, and you will do the same back to them. Now, I know this might take some time. You will be reporting back to me here each morning to give me an update. Understood?
Of course, boss.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Got a question, sir.
And what's that?
Well, seeing as you brought in Harold here, is this going to be a loud operation, or should we keep this quiet?
Do your best to not make me pull strings at the police department.
Understood, sir.
But do make sure the message is clear.
Aye.
As always, boss.
Well, if there's nothing else, you can get on your way.
I'll tip the fedora to everyone in the room. Obviously, you know, they're probably all people of renown and respect. So
Yes.
I'll tip my fedora to them and take another sip of my coffee, and then this time I'll open up the door and hold it for Brian.
I'll tip my hat to the room and then tip my golf hat to Harold on the way out.
All right. You guys.
I'd like to tip my hat to him and then to the barber and the dog walking by.
I'll see his tipping of the hat and I'll start tipping hats.
I'll raise my tip. I throw my hat.
All right. You guys have emerged from Floyd's barber shop. It is early morning on a Wednesday, New York City, 1920-something. You guys need to find who killed the Booker brothers. And it's up to you now.
Right. Well, you want to go get outfitted at my shop before we head out?
What kind of shop is it you run, Brian?
Well, we mostly fix cars, but we also have things with a little higher caliber.
Lead the way. I'm interested to see what you have.
All right, come on through. Walk over to the back to my shop.
Yeah, it's a couple minutes. It's fairly close. As I said, both of you are fairly close to this location. And you make it to your, well, not so great apartment complex, but there's a small shop on the ground level that, Harold, you can see Brian appears to be unlocking. Your first thought is, this is likely something he likely did something very good for the mob in order to receive this, because he doesn't look like he could afford it on his own. It also looks like a one-man shop. But you're able to unlock it, open up the door, and reveal your shop. What was it you would like to do? Or would you like to describe your shop for us?
Sure, yeah. So the shop is kind of, it's just a basic like auto garage on the front face of it. You can see that there's a couple of cars, some of them with their engines pulled out, and they're just kind of, things are kind of a little bit messy up in the front, but he kind of waves you into the back of the shop area, which he leads you through a back door into an office area where he has a couple of safes in the back. And in those safes, he opens them up, and you can see he doesn't have a whole lot of weaponry, but he has a couple of specifics. Like he offers you a Henry Martini rifle or a 1911 Colt 1911. You can see that he kind of has this as kind of like his back stash of weaponry. You could also store stuff here if you'd need to.
I currently have a Colt Peacemaker and a Winchester 73 somewhere. Probably not on me. The Winchester's probably at home. The Peacemaker's probably what's on my hip. The Peacemaker's a revolver, and based on the situation that we're going into, I think it wouldn't hurt to get a piece with a silencer. Is something like that available in this time frame?
It's a good question, actually.
If not, it's okay. I can grab a pillow, and
You see Brian goes and grabs a little sawed-off shotgun and tucks it under his overcoat.
Well, there were suppressors.
Harold will look to Brian as he does this and be like, looking to avoid the attention of the coppers, aren't we?
Aye, but it sends a message.
It does. Fair enough. What would one need to do to get their hands on a piece with a suppressor?
I'm not seeing a specific price, but I am seeing that they existed. So, based on what little I know of the economy back then, I'm going to say they're $2 a piece, because they're probably not like widely prohibited. So if you have a gun that you want a silencer on that you've purchased, you have connections where you could have one, just decrease your money by $2.
Okay.
This is before the National Firearms Act, so they also wouldn't be tax stamped.
Oh, hooray!
Yeah, so
Woohoo!
the $2 doesn't include tax. And while I'm at it,
1920s, the suppressor, often called the silencer back then, would have cost around $5 for a 22 caliber model, and slightly more, around $7 for larger caliber options. You're right on, Pickles.
I mean, I said $2, but
I mean, it's not like 50, you know.
Yeah. I'll still honor my $2. We'll say you have connections, and they might be used more often.
Fair. So why don't we do this? I would take him up on the 1911, and then I would look into, once we're on the road or whatever, I would look into getting a silencer for it.
Oh, I'm saying if you want one, you can just deduct the money right now and say you've had it because that's your job.
I have it, and that's my job.
And I'm offering
I have a silencer for a firearm that I didn't have. I'm just walking around with a revolver and a silencer for a 1911. And I'm like, thank God you have a 1911. I've been looking for one of these.
But the same would stand for Brian O'Reilly. He could have access as well.
Yeah.
If you wanted any silencers.
But
yeah, I guess for a gun you just found, I missed that part. Yeah, you wouldn't have a silencer.
So in that case, would we assume that he has the 1911 with the silencer?
If he'd like to spend the $2, yes.
Yeah, sure. I'll spend the $2.
Okay. Then in that case, Harold will reach down and pull the 1911 out and clear it, check it. This will do quite nicely.
Ah, sneaky dicky like.
Boss says don't bring him trouble. I'll do my best.
All right.
Are you ready
It's
then?
yours.
Should we get over to, what was it? Flanagan's?
Aye, Flanagan's. Great pub.
Is it?
Good grub. You never been?
I've not.
Oh, the owner makes a shepherd's pie to die for.
Fair enough, boy. Lead on.
Right.
Treat
He's gonna-
ourselves to a meal while we're there.
He's going to close the close up the thing. He's going to leave the 45 Martini Henry rifle behind.
Probably a good idea.
He's
Walking
gonna have
around. We're both just walking around with rifles, just like.
It's the
but
1920s.
he's gonna
Why not?
But he's gonna have the sawed off on a sling underneath his overcoat with the revolver still tucked into his band, and he's gonna as he's closing things up, he's gonna grab a what you see is like a knobbed like stick. It's a shillelagh from the side, and gonna start using it as like a walking stick on his way.
All right. You guys look very scary and badass in your suits, and you make your way down to O'Flanahan's. Technically not O'Flanagan's, but you know what? Actually, the sign looks a little weird. You might be right.
I didn't take notes this time because last time in the last module I was taking notes and I started missing stuff and I was like, wait, where? Oh, what it was, we were in We Be Goblins and I started taking notes and then it came to us playing and I was like, all right, I'm ready to go. Except you had just gone on a whole thing about how we weren't leaving until the next day after the feast.
Oh,
But
yeah.
because I was taking notes. So this time I don't have my notes, so I'm trying to retain it all, and I already messed up. So
No,
it's
it's
a
all good.
lose-lose. We're professionals.
I have some strong words about names in our podcast episode. So if you want to hear our opinions on those things, look at the Patreon. We have discussions about things. They're fun. They're frolicky. We kiss a lot. Anyways, back to the story. So O'Flanahan's is managed by a man you know as Sean O'Flanahan. Both of you are aware that they pay their dues to the mob, but both of you go ahead and roll common knowledge to see what else you know.
First roll of the game, I'll let you have the honors.
Aw.
Aha.
5?
A 5.
What about Harold? I've got a 4.
You both know that it is popularly, at least like every night you can imagine that there's at least 1 or 2 of your members at this place. It is frequented quite a bit, and you've heard that it's quite good food. Brian is not making stuff up. You also know that it opens at 11 a.m., closes at midnight. You still have some time, I suppose, if there's something else you wanted to do, though you could just wait around until it would open at 11.
Let me ask. I really should be taking note. Oh, hey. Guess what, guys?
Go for it.
There is... Oh. Sorry, I just found a clue in my character sheet.
Uh-oh. What is the clue?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet. Someone left hints inside my character sheet I need to read.
That sounds like a game goblin.
Yeah. Well, sure. What was I saying?
That you found a clue that you're going to share?
No, before that. I got distracted by the clue, but what was I saying? Oh, what I would like to do is what do I know of the brothers? Don't remember their name.
The Booker brothers, yes.
Booker brothers.
You know that they are some of the most ruthless enforcers. They're also sort of charming. They're ones that would be disarmingly friendly and then break your legs. They are sent in to make examples of people without killing them usually. Just to be like, no, you owe us money now. You're going to get some motivation to get us your money. Or, hey, no, you're not working with another organization. You like your knees. Said in a more charming way. Wink. I was hoping that would make Raph laugh, but okay.
Listen, I'm actually trying to take notes now, so now I'm missing things. See?
Yep, can't make you laugh.
I can't do both.
Can't make you laugh.
So listen, I got Booker Brothers Ruthless Henchmen. That's as far as I got. All right, I'm slow.
That's about right. They're ruthless henchmen.
And they're dead.
Yeah, and yeah, they're definitely dead. Roll for me your common knowledge again, Harold.
Harold will. Sorry, made me think of my goblin. A Poog coming!
Poog is Harold!
Poog is the Harold now! That'll be a 3.
Would you like to use a penny?
You know what? I really want to be a good investigator. Is this in regards to that? Or am I allowed to know what I'm rolling for?
In general, the knowledge should help you to some degree.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Easy answer.
As a garbage answer, but yeah.
That was a garbage answer.
I anticipate that it should help you, whatever knowledge I might be making you roll for. Yeah, otherwise, I wouldn't make you roll.
No, I'm just giving you pointless shit. Like, yeah. Okay, I will use a Benny, which I didn't... Hang on, I didn't mean to do that. Let's do this the correct way. Benny, and I got a 4 this time.
All right. Some additional knowledge you know, if you wanted to find out more stuff. There is an officer that is a major informant for you, Officer Brownlich. I'm going to put a little spelling here. So that's there. And to also show that I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Officer Brown. In the chat. Comments. Yeah. Comments in the comments.
Officer Brownlich is an informant. He usually requires about $10 to $20, so he's not a cheap informant. But he is how you would get access to police records without charging in. You also know that any bodies within this area would likely be taken to Watterson Memorial Hospital. They have a morgue. You know this because you've sent people there.
Okay, Watterson Memorial Hospital morgue. Got it. Okay, sweet. Thank you. So current time of day, do we know?
About 8:15.
8:15, and it opens at 11. Okay. As we step out of the shop, I'll probably look at my watch. I'll take the last sip of my coffee and throw it out. I'm guessing someone who hasn't been to New York but has seen a movie once, they would have trash cans maybe along the street, like public
Yeah,
trash cans?
there's certainly
Yeah.
places to put your trash.
I'll throw I'll fold up the newspaper and the coffee and put them both in there. Kind of straighten up my it's a jacket that's really long, trench coat thing, and over my suit. And sorry, I had to work out the words. And I'll look to Brian and be like, as someone who hasn't been to Flanahan's, I actually don't know when it opens, so it would be meta for me to say that we should go somewhere else. So I look to Brian and say, shall we be off then?
Brian's like finishing up locking up his garage. In a minute, I'll go and get out of these formal clothes. These are the only nice clothes I have, and get into something more comfortable. And then it's going to be It's going to be about 11 o'clock by the time Flanagan's opens.
11, huh?
Aye.
Well, how about this then? You go powder your face and whatnot. I'm gonna head over to the morgue, see what I can find out there. You care to meet me? Waterson Memorial Hospital, you familiar?
Aye, I had a brother go there last week.
Unfortunate. Sorry for your loss.
He was a bastard anyways.
Aren't they all? Fair enough.
All right, I'll meet you over there.
I'll stroll on.
All right. You'll have a bit of a head start. So we'll, as Brian goes upstairs to his apartment to change into his other clothes, we're going to give you your head start. The Waterson Memorial Hospital is not outstanding in any way. It's a very simple hospital, several stories high. It's got a morgue in the basement, you know. But unfortunately, it does have somebody blocking your path. As you enter into the hospital, stop me if you disagree with any of these things, I'm presuming you do.
Sounds good.
You can see that there is a young intern, maybe early 20s, blocking the door, reading a newspaper, blocking your path further.
Okay, so just so I understand, a young 20-something-year-old
Hospital intern.
Hospital intern blocking my path reading a newspaper.
Yes.
Okay. Standing, sitting, leaning?
Leaning against the door that would lead to morgue access.
Okay. I'll kind of walk up, look him up and down, and kick his foot. Just kind of reach out, kind of not like a slam, but like, you know, nudge his foot and be like, "You mind moving, boy?"
He has sort of a roundish face. He still has like the baby fat, as people say. He looks very young in that sense, but you know he's not like a child or anything. And he looks at you and says, "Oh, no, sorry, nobody's supposed to be going down there."
Kind of lean in and be like, we are the Dutch Oven Mafia.
Dutch Schultz.
That's what I meant. Dutch Schultz Mafia. I'll be like, those rules don't quite apply to Dutch Schultz. How about you do yourself a favor and go get yourself a candy or something?
Are you giving him money as you say that? Or are you just telling him to go?
Yeah.
He looks at you kind of funny and says, "There's nothing down there that you would want."
With, all due respect, boy, I don't think it's any of your business to know or care about what I want.
He kind of meets you and looks you in the eyes and says, "What? Are you threatening me?"
Harold's gonna stand up straight and be like, just kind of like, collect yourself, don't shoot this kid. Like, I don't think we're understanding each other. You're going to leave now, and I'm going to carry on about my business. Is that clear enough for you?
When you stretched, did you show any of your guns?
More than likely not. It's more of not really stretching, it's more of just straightening up himself and kind of collecting himself rather than just like choke slamming him into the wall.
Gotcha. He looks at you and says, "Okay, I think you're threatening me. Have a nice day." And he sets down his paper and walks past you, apparently not wanting to fight this fight.
And kind of watch him step off and be like, "Safe travels, then." And I will head into the morgue.
You may head into the morgue. I'm going to activate this for you. All right. As you go down into the morgue, this is an idea of how it sort of looks. It's simply lit. It's not bright fluorescence. It's just a few lamps. There is a doctor at work here, but it appears as you're walking down staircase and like you can see through this door, double doors that you're about to go into to see the morgue. You can see only one doctor. You don't hear anybody talking or anything, but if you're paranoid, you can roll notice if you want to wait and listen.
I don't think my guy's paranoid. He definitely comes off as the type who's just like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, I'm tired and I'm just trying to do my job. So more than likely just kind of strut in.
As you strut in, the doctor, without looking at you, says, "Please, I need my space. If you're going to interrupt me any more times, I'm going to end your internship."
I'm like standing in the doorway and I'll kind of look back, look forward and be like, "Rough morning there, doctor."
He's startled. He turns and says, What? Who are you?"
Name's Harold. Pleasure to meet you.
"I wish I could say the same. What is your business down here? You're not supposed to be down here."
What is it with people telling me where I'm supposed to be today? Very odd. We don't know each other. You shouldn't know where I'm supposed to be. But, turns out, I have business here, so I am exactly where I need to be. So, with that out of the way, Doc, what is your name?
He says, "My name is Dr. Plotnik, and I will be forced to call the police if you do not leave the premises immediately."
Plotnik. It's a good name, strong name. Not many Plotniks in this city, are there? Must be a short list. Your family here.
Harold, go ahead and roll your persuasion.
It's not good. Harold's rolling. It's a 4. It's a 3. I can read.
Do you want to use a Benny?
Sure. How do we get bennies back? Is it just by each session, right?
Each session, and something I'm going to talk about in the podcast, subscribe to our Patreon, is how you're supposed to be giving bennies out through gameplay. Taking big risks should give bennies. Role-playing effectively, doing something a goblin would do when you're a goblin should get you a benny.
Okay.
So I'm going to be giving out bennies more frequently, hopefully.
Okay. I'm going to use a benny, and just to make it clear, he's basically threatening this guy's family. Like, not many of you guys in the city. I'll be able to find your family.
Okay.
Is basically the route she's going. All right, Benny. That's a 4.
He looks at you and says, "Indeed, I do have family."
Good.
Whatever you're doing here, please make it quick.
Of course, I
have work that needs to be done.
I meant no harm. We all have jobs to do. Feel free to carry on with yours.
I'd rather be done with this as soon as possible.
This. Done with what, Doc?
He looks at you and meets your eyes, and you get a strange sensation of he's afraid of you, but also afraid of something else. And as you consider what that might be, let's jump over to see what Brian's up to. Brian, you've dressed up in your outfit. You're looking like a workman now, not a suit. And are you going to the Watterson Memorial Hospital or Watterson? Man, like, remember your own words. I should know. The Watterson Memorial Hospital, or are you going somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm gonna head over to the Watterson Memorial Hospital.
You go up to the hospital. There's a round-faced guy that's smoking a cigarette outside the building. He looks a little bit frazzled, upset, bothered. But you can walk past him if you like.
Yeah, I'll tip my hat to him and see how he reacts.
Go ahead and roll. Roll your persuasion.
Okay. Persuasion. He's not a good persuader.
Me neither.
Would you like to use a Benny?
Yeah, let's use a Benny.
Would you like to use another?
Nah, he's not a good persuader anyways.
Yeah, you get his attention for a moment, and he looks at you, and he's like, do you need something?
Well, hold on, friend. I didn't mean any offense by it. Just coming to see a friend.
Well, go ahead.
Doing
There's nobody
okay.
stopping you.
Oh, you seem a bit peeved.
There's thugs everywhere in this city, coming in and threatening people's lives. He looks down at your cane. You kind of look like one of them.
Oh, that's uncalled for now, sonny boy. Look, yeah, there's some mighty nasty folk out there in the world, but trust me when I say that not all of them are out to get you.
He thinks for a moment, nods. Probably true. Probably true.
All right, well, you have a nice day now.
You too.
There you go, lad. He continues on.
You make your way into the hospital. You can see that there's other people moving around, but the morgue access door is cracked open. You could easily make it in there. Nobody's stopping you.
All right, gonna go in that way.
And because there is a dash of paranoia in your heart, I'm going to let you roll notice.
Absolutely. Notice for Harold. Rolling now. I got a 4.
You look over at the bodies in the morgue, sort of where you get the vibe of that's the work that this man is doing, that he wants to get done with very quickly. And both bodies are covered in sheets. And before you can really do anything, you hear footsteps down the hall. Somebody's coming
Clicking
in.
of a cane.
Yes, with a clicking of a cane. It's either the police are using canes or your comrade has shown up.
I saw him grab the cane and made note that all of a sudden he was walking with a cane, and I was like, So I'll kind of smile and kind of look down like, oh boy. And then I'll look to the Doc. Can you remind me of his name?
Dr. Plotnick. It might help maybe if I start doing like that every once in a while. That way people can remember the spelling too, I guess. Might help me.
Okay, so Doc Plotnick. I'll be like, Doc, I need to apologize.
It's at this point the door presumably opens, unless, Brian, you're going to wait in the hallway. You can hear your comrade talking.
Okay, I can hear my comrade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to see how he's playing this.
Okay.
I'll just wait outside the door.
He's like, oh, he's in there murdering him. Doc, I need to apologize. Your workspace is about to get a bit more crowded, but I'll try and keep our business short.
Good. Whatever gets you out of here, do what you need. Just leave me out of it.
Opens up the door.
Brian?
Hello, Harold.
Meet Doc Plotnick. He is overseeing both of our business, it seems.
Top of the morning to you, Doc.
Top of the morning.
He is unfortunately less than friendly.
I met quite a stern lad out in front, too.
Seems they don't like to teach manners here at this establishment.
I'd have to say so. Now, it's a real shame. It must be something with society these days.
Must be. Youngsters and whatnot. Well,
Aye,
let's best hope they learn some manners during our time here, so that we can all
Aye.
carry on in our day.
aye. And us adults should be setting an example. Don't you agree, Doctor?
Sure.
Good day.
Now that's a curt response, ain't it?
What exactly do you two need in my mortuary?
I'm going to let Brian converse with him. I would like to begin investigating the bodies. One at a
All
time.
right. Brian, what would you like to say while your comrade walks into the room further?
Now you see, sir, that's the tone that I'm talking about. You can't be teaching the young ones like that. We came in here meaning no offense to you or your workspace. We just wanted to. Recently we've had some friends of ours pass away, and we wanted to check in on things. But I don't know. It seems that you are taking an offense to our presence here.
He's not watching you at all. His eyes are on Harold as Harold walks over to the bodies. And he says, "These were your friends?"
Seeing this, he's gonna like snap his fingers and like try to direct his eyes back to him.
He looks back
Oi.
at you, but he keeps glancing back every once in a while. These are your friends?
Well, that's what we're here to find out, and it's really impolite to be not paying attention to the person talking to you. He's going to start getting like closer and Brian's going to start getting closer and closer to this guy.
Yeah, as you've made it clear, you want his attention now. He's not glancing back. Harold, roll your spirits.
Spirits, absolutely. That is a 7.
Nice. Very nice. You pull back the sheet on one of the Booker brothers. You can see by the writing on the table, there's a little note card that indicates who it is. This is certainly one of the Booker brothers. The body of this one is chalk white, almost translucent. There are gaping wounds yawning around where their bellies should be. And as you look further, you can see that they have organs, but the organs are dry and flaking, almost as if they've been like freeze-dried in a sense. The heads are mostly severed, each held on only by a slab of muscle and tendon. You pull the other sheet over, you can confirm both of these people were killed in the same way. And something doesn't feel right. You're certainly able to look closer as you're able to keep your stomach down. You might feel a little bit of discomfort here, but you maintain your composure until you notice that they're looking at you. Both of them. Their eyes are watching you.
Okay. You said they're bone white, organs dry and flaking, heads nearly severed. Did you say there was a hole in their stomach?
Yes, it's at their stomach where it's been torn open, and you can see into their body to see their organs, dry and flaking.
Okay. I'll also be snapping, but I'll kind of, I'm standing up and just like reaching down and kind of pulling the tarps back or the cloth back and looking with my other hand. I'm just gonna kind of do a quick like 2 snaps near their head to like get eye movement. I'm like, what?
It's very faint, but their eyes are moving. They have the spark of life and intelligence in them.
Going to put the cloth back over, and I'll address the doc, if that's all right.
Absolutely. Brian has made him focus on him, but you can interrupt that there at the end.
Doc, what is it, an autopsy? What's your autopsy found?
He takes a folder off of his desk, presumably the autopsy files, and he says, "I didn't actually do the autopsy. That would have been Dr. Brace, but He's home sick today.
I see. Do you mind?
He hands it over to you. Go ahead and roll your smarts.
Can do. Oh, God. Does Brian look like a smart guy to me?
I'd say he looks crafty, yeah.
That's not what I asked. Oh, I got a 10!
Hey.
Wow. You're not normally the one who goes in and figures things out. You're normally the one who goes in and shoots things being people. But you're able to read through this, and a lot of it makes sense. The first thing you notice is that this is a very hastily written file. There are parts that are left unfinished, and it's like somebody was speedrunning this autopsy for whatever reason. It suggests that the bodies were drained of blood before being gutted and thrown into the bin. It shows that there are no metal filaments in the wounds, which would indicate that they weren't cut with like knives or anything metal. They weren't speared. They're clearly not speared. The tear pattern on the wounds suggests that an animal's claws were the ones that were slashing through it. But there are no teeth marks, and there's no consumed portions of flesh that you'd expect if an animal like were to kill somebody. It looks like the bodies are scheduled for burial later this day, around like 5 or 6 o'clock, and that's about all you get. Dr. Brace signed.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Because while I'm known for just being the hitman, we don't know who to go hit. So I need to do the investigation to figure out who I'm supposed to go whack.
Right.
So I'm known for being a hitman. And apparently a good one. What is Brian known for? Besides being fancy?
Mostly just like a general repairman. Like he's known for being good with tools and being good with like fixing stuff. But he's kind of newer to the mob. Newer, I would say. But he probably has some ties overseas that he's been sending some stuff back to.
Okay.
Yep.
So in Harold's mind, probably usually works alone. Wondering why there's a mechanic on this job with him. Probably like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I would add that because Brian's young and was sort of accepted into the mob at a younger age, he's known to be fiercely loyal. A person who would likely, maybe after this adventure, lose the poverty hindrance and gain loyal as a hindrance.
Okay.
So it could just be that they're testing him.
Yeah, that's what would be Harold's thought, is that he's babysitting and training them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely he's going to be like, you know, hey, you watch the door, you know, you da-da-da, and I'll go handle it, is based in general, like the mentality that we're going to be going with for Harold until he realizes, you know, what any difference. Okay. So, that's a lot of information to process. Okay.
Would you like any repeats?
No, I was able to take notes on that one.
Okay.
And it's basically the same between the two brothers, as from what I understood, correct?
Yes, Frank and Joe Booker both seem to be killed in the same way.
Same way, same signs. Okay, sweet. I'll look to the doc and be like, you worked the morgue a long time, or are you new here?
I've worked here many years, yes.
So you've dealt with dead bodies before, then?
Yes, that is my job.
And have you ever seen any like this?
I can't say that I have.
Okay. And I'll once again kind of pull up the sheet and be like, And dead bodies, do their eyes usually move like this?
He says, not normally, but there's certainly some sort of explanation for why there's a post-mortem movement of the bodies. I'm sure of it.
I've seen twitching. Not usually controlled eye movement.
No, that's certainly unusual.
I would agree. I'll drop the cloth over the body. I'll turn to Brian. I'll be like, any other questions then, Brian?
No, sir, but you're kind of freaking me out with some of those descriptions there. This is
Have a
unusual.
look yourself.
All right. Gonna lift up the cover.
Go ahead and roll your
Just as-
spirits.
Okay.
While he does an investigation, I'm going to be stepping outside for a smoke. So I'll kind of tip my hat to the doc and I'll be like, "Thank you for your time, Doc. I hope you have a better day ahead."
When I'm through with these bodies, I'll be having a better day.
Same, actually. I'm gonna head back outside.
Yeah, you can certainly do that. Before we get to Brian, I just want to quickly say the intern is nowhere to be seen at this point. So you can go outside. There's a few people walking into the hospital, a few people walking out. It's light traffic, but your intern is gone.
I am going to be people watching and
All
having a cigarette just outside the door.
Sounds good. Brian, you pull the sheet up, and because you're anticipating, you feel a little bit more steeled to this. But indeed, these are some dead bodies, and you feel a wave of discomfort flow over you as you're looking at these dead comrades. I mean, they were kind of like you. They were part of the mob, and now they're dead here and staring at you.
That's a devious fate there. And you said that this might have some sort of explanation as to why these eyes are still moving and watching me?
Everything has a scientific explanation. There is something that is causing this, and we don't know. It's like how salt can trigger muscle movements, even in a dead limb.
Aye. But don't be too sure that there's not also the work of the devil going on here.
Gives you a long stare as you say that, and then says, "I certainly hope not."
Aye, for all our sakes. Well, I bid you a good day, sir. And let's try to keep to the cordial.
Right. Good day to you too.
Aye. Tips his hat. Walks out.
You
Walks
emerge.
out of the door.
Oh, go for
and
it.
he just like puts his hands on his knees like, what the fuck was that?
I thought you were gonna be like, just leans over and goes. No, you keep yourself composed. And with that, we'll bring you out onto the streets. All right, you are back out onto the streets once more. You find your comrade smoking a cigarette and watching people. Because you're watching, of course, Harold, you notice Brian emerging from the building. He notices you.
You ever seen a dead body before?
I've seen a few in my day, but none like that.
Never does get easier.
Nay, it doesn't.
Keep your wits about you, boy. You could be next in there.
He does the sign of the cross. Certainly hope not, sir.
Fair enough. What time of day is it? Check my watch.
We'll say that took maybe an hour or so. The walking, the interrogating, seeing how everything went down. So yeah, we'll say it's an hour. It's probably about 9:30.
30. Like,
Well, sir, where do we usually go from here? We could go try to stake out the area around the incident.
well, boy, they usually don't send me out to gather information. I'm usually there to put an end to it. So, this is somewhat new to me too. But I know a guy who might have some answers for us. Should go visit Braunlick. You familiar with the name?
Sounds familiar.
Copper. He
Ah,
has worked with Dutch Schultz in the past. Might have some answers about what they found at the crime yesterday.
all right.
Fair enough. We'll head over to the precinct, and I'll let you do the talking.
Understood, sir.
Best you introduce yourself to our informants.
What did you say his name was again?
Officer Braunlick. I think. Don't come at me, comments.
Yeah, we're each going to pronounce it our own specific way. That's how we do it at Dicebound.
Yeah. How'd you say it?
I called it Braun Lich.
Oh, Lich? Okay, I said
And you did
Braunlick,
Lick, and so
then
now
he'll do Lich.
Bradlick.
Yeah.
So the goal is to go over to the police station then, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna head over there.
All right. Let's get another old-timey picture. Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
also like we're on a street. Okay, so you guys walk on over to the police station, presumably looking for Officer Brunlich. As you know, Harold, he has an office that you can go into to talk to him, and he would prefer that talking either occur in that office or at his home.
Okay.
But I don't know if Brian knows this. Do you want to help him, or did you really want him to go up to the front desk?
I'm gonna let him learn, kind of figure out things. I'm there to help, and I'll probably, as we step into the station, I'll probably step off to the side, so I'm hanging back, letting him kind of address, but I'm just watching.
All right.
I feel like Harold does a lot of people watching.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
So if you're both entering then?
Yeah.
All right. So Brian, you can see that there is a police officer at the front desk who looks up at you. Says, "How do you do?"
Top of the morning to you, officer. I'm looking for Officer Brunlick.
Yep. He's just down the hall.
May I head down there and see him?
He says, "What is your business?"
Oh, he's I got some questions for him about a little bit of side work that I've been doing.
Side work. Go ahead and roll your persuasion.
Yeah, I've been trying to fix up his car.
Oh yeah, his car is always breaking down. Go ahead.
All right, much appreciated, officer.
Officer goes back to whatever paperwork they're filling out, not paying much attention to Harold.
I will note, whenever Harold enters a building, he'll take off his hat.
Gotcha. That's polite. So you
He's a
can
proper gentleman.
you can certainly go down the hall, and the offices have the name of the officer on it, so you can certainly find which one you want to go. And you can see that he is in his office.
I'll knock on the door. Tut, 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 tut.
Yeah, come in.
Top of the morning to you, officer.
You enter a very simple office. It's just a desk, a lamp that has a window. There's a plant and a chair. There's a few chairs for you guys as well, but they're nothing terribly impressive. They're just simple, hard wood. He looks at you and says, well, what can I help you two with?
Harold's gonna
Well,
enter. He'll kind of smooth out his suit, and he'll take a seat and chair and kind of kick back, not saying a word.
Well, I believe this is our first meeting, so I'll introduce myself. My name's Brian O'Reilly. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Pleasure to meet you too. I've dealt with your friends, or your family, I should say, for quite some time. Best keep this short.
Closes the door behind him. All right. So, would Brian perceive the note about his family as a threat? I think
If he's an informant, he's acknowledging who you're there for or there with, and that there is an arrangement.
Okay.
I believe a bribe for police officers is usually $10 to $20.
Gotcha. Checking my finances situation at the moment.
Not great.
You close the door, pull out your wallet.
But it's clear that he's just acknowledging who you are and what do you need?
Well, sir, we're looking for some information. We just got back from the morgue and saw some ghostly sights. You wouldn't happen to know anything about those sights there, would you?
Well, I might know a thing or two.
Well, then, will you let us know?
He gives you a glance that says, "What's in it for me?"
Gonna, kind of swing my shillelagh back and forth. Well, sir, I would really like to know that information from you. I would like to know, have you ever seen anything like that before?
Go ahead and roll your fighting, not because you're attacking, but just to show what you're capable of.
Harold's
As
just
you,
sitting there all of a sudden, just beat him over the head. He's like, whoa! It's not what I meant, boy.
He looks at your weapon and looks at, well, you're wearing an overcoat, but you don't look small and weak. He says, "If you're trying to threaten me in a police station, a lot of people who will come to my aid, that's poor form. Now, we have an arrangement. You put some money
Aye.
on my table, and I'll tell you what I know."
Oh, that's the arrangement. I'm sorry, this is my first time meeting you.
He glances at Harold, says, "Do you not get trained anymore?"
Right, now see, we've been talking about manners all morning, and I agree. I was in the wrong there. And see, I apologize for not knowing what the arrangement was. But now there's no need for you to go bad-mouthing me partner here.
That's fair. That is fair. Well, $20, and I'll tell you everything I know.
Right. Harold, gotta tell you even, I'm skint broke.
The officer laughs.
Harold's gonna turn. Are you kidding me?
I mean, mob pays good, but not that good.
You didn't bring any cash.
I don't have any cash, sir.
My lord.
Hey, those transmissions that this man needs that those cars need, they cost some money, and well, they gave me the shop. I have to pay for my own dues.
Enough.
Aye, sir.
Brolnick, I'm gonna help the lad out here, but you're gonna get 10, and if your information's good, you might see the rest of it. I'll go ahead and pull out 10 and set it down on the desk.
He looks down at that, and it seems to do the trick. He just nods and says, "Well, I've heard that the Booker brothers finally met their end. Rather gruesome, from what the rumors are. Looks like it's a routine investigation. Again, from what I've heard, I'm not on the case myself, and there's no expectation that they're going to solve this case.
You
The
told us
officers
nothing we don't already know.
the officers who handled the investigation have taken some leave time, and from the reports, there was no blood on the scene. I was kind of curious how there'd be no blood at the scene, given how they were killed.
Again,
But
nothing we don't already know.
there's a name I've been hearing on the streets, name of somebody new in town. Maybe that's something you don't know.
Could be. Continue.
He looks down at the 10, and then looks up at you.
You haven't even earned that. Lucky you get to keep it.
Well, I suppose the name is only a rumor then.
So you want $10 for free for telling us something we already know all of that. And now you're withholding information from us and expecting us to just dig into my pocket because you might know something of use after feeding me a whole lot of bullshit. Braun, like I am not new at this. This is not my first day. I have heard of our connection and relationship and long-standing friendship. I would hate to have to be the one to sever that. So, why don't you do us both a favor, prove your worth, and prove that our relationship and friendship with you is worthwhile, and holds up to the name and fame that you hold in our organization. They say you're useful. I'd like to see that myself, and I will pay for it if it proves true.
Go ahead and roll your persuasion.
That was really well said. I have a really bad persuasion, though. A 5, though.
Hey,
Would you like to spend a Benny to make that possibly a failure? No, I'm kidding. He leans back in his chair and says, "That is fair enough. So here's what I've heard. There's a man who's come to town about 4 months ago, and he's been taking a lot of you guys' territory. A lot of territory. It's decreasing the foothold your lot have in this city. Not that I want it to be that way. I'd rather you guys stay in command. You're a lot more polite than those fellas. This new group is led by a man, I've heard his name is Rolanov Tepes? It's just the name I've been hearing. Apparently, he's a cultured man. Likes the cultured life. Attends opera openings, plays. Attends the finest restaurants. Likes fine wine.
sounds like a prick.
Sounds like somebody who might want your people dead. At least that's what I thought.
Aye. Could be.
Thought. Previous.
What was that? Sorry, my...
Past tense.
You say thought. Do you still think this way? Something led you to change your
Oh,
mindset?
no. I certainly still think that the man going after your people's territory is the one who might want you dead. There's nothing concrete, obviously. We can't go out and arrest him, but if that's somebody who would want you dead, if there is somebody who is killing you off, that's the one I would look at first.
Well, I'd say that was worth our time. Any further questions, boy?
No, but do you think you earned the extra tenner?
Last question. You said you're not working this case, and the police who did arrive on scene have taken vacation.
Indeed.
You happen to have their names.
I could find them for you real quick.
I'd say that's worth all our time. And money.
They are not likely to be agreeable. If you were
So
to
don't
visit
about this
their homes, you are unlikely to get much from them.
I think you underestimate my charm, Officer Bromlick. I'll do like a half-ass like smirk smile.
He nods and says, "Again, these are straight-edge officers. They are interrogating them may cause trouble for you. They're not as agreeable as I am."
Again, I mean no ill will. Simply questions about a deceased family member.
Right. He puts his hand down on the $10 bill, unless you want to stab him.
No, I will. Basically, as I get up to leave, I'll be putting down the other 10 because he's going to earn the full 20. I just don't know if we're leaving yet or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I basically have noted that, like, yeah, that's worth our, so I will be giving him that. That is my intention. I just want to do it as I'm standing up to leave. So,
yeah, he gives you their names. He writes it down on a piece of paper and a little bit of information about them. Like, they're nearby. They're local cops.
I think that's all I have for this gentleman.
Much appreciated, officer. Now, that was quite cordial. I appreciate it.
Come back if you need anything more from me.
Will do, sir.
I'll stand up and pull out the other 10, and I'll set it down and be like, "Pleasure to meet you, Bromlick." And
yeah, takes the 10. Pleasure's all mine.
I'll turn and head out the door.
All right. You guys return to the streets, or anything you want to do with the front desk officer?
Yeah. As I'm passing by, just like a comment of like, we got it sorted.
Oh, good. Have a good day then, citizens.
You have a good one too, sir.
And we'll throw ourselves back out to the street.
Stepping out on the street, I'm going to put my hat on, straighten out my suit, and then smack him upside the back of the head.
I probably should have told you that I don't have any money, shouldn't I have?
They sent you out here broke as a dog.
Aye, sir.
You've got to be kidding me. What'd you do with your money, boy?
Like I said, the repair shop costs money.
You think back to those safes, those brand new safes with brand new guns in them. Very nice guns. You have one that has a silencer, I think, from him. Brand new silencer.
The shop costs money, sir.
Might I suggest smarter investments? The Dutch Schultz organization has a lawyer. You should talk to him.
Heard loud and clear, sir.
Children. I'm going to kind of do a quick surveillance. Once again, people watching, look around the area, and then I'm going to be... time of day?
It's just before 11. If you were to walk to O'Flanahan's, you would probably get there as it's opening.
Yeah, I think... I would ask him, but I'm mad at him right now. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to head towards Flanagan's.
Sir, it's this... Flanagan's is this way.
Right. You lead then. Full composure.
I like to think Harold is walking like full force and then just turns and immediately full force the opposite direction.
Probably like full on like military, like 180.
Yep, 100%.